Life as a single parent is tough. It's a constant balancing act, juggling work, household chores, and parenting duties all on your own. The weight of responsibility can feel overwhelming, and the days often seem never-ending. It's even tougher when you're raising a teenager. Teenagers are at a stage where they're trying to assert their independence, which can lead to frequent clashes and misunderstandings. The emotional roller coaster of adolescence adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging situation. And it's the toughest when you're a single mom raising a neurodivergent teenager while working a physically demanding job. The physical exhaustion from work, combined with the emotional and mental strain of parenting, can be incredibly draining. Every day feels like a marathon, with no finish line in sight. That's the reality for one mother we'll call Joanne. Joanne's days are filled with endless tasks and responsibilities, leaving her little time for herself. She often finds herself reflecting on her life, wondering how she can keep going. Joanne works incredibly hard cleaning houses. It's a job that requires a lot of physical effort, from scrubbing floors to dusting furniture. Each house she cleans is a testament to her dedication and work ethic. It's honest work, but it leaves her absolutely drained at the end of each day. By the time she gets home, her body aches, and all she wants to do is rest. But rest is a luxury she can't always afford. Joanne's daughter, Ashley, is 17 and has her learner's permit. Like many teenagers, Ashley is eager to gain her independence and start driving. She dreams of the freedom that comes with having a driver's license. Like any teen, Ashley is eager to get behind the wheel. She spends hours studying the driving manual and practicing with her learner's permit. The excitement of learning to drive is a bright spot in her life. Joanne wants to support her daughter. She understands how important this milestone is for Ashley and wants to be there for her every step of the way. Despite her exhaustion, she tries to muster the energy to help Ashley practice driving. But after a long day of scrubbing floors and hauling cleaning supplies, the last thing Joanne wants to do is argue about being on time. The constant demands of her job and the pressures of parenting leave her feeling stretched thin. She worries about how she can continue to provide for Ashley while also being the supportive mother her daughter needs. Despite the challenges, Joanne and Ashley share a deep bond. They have heart-to-heart conversations where they express their fears, hopes, and dreams. These moments of connection remind Joanne why she works so hard and give her the strength to keep going. Laughter and love fill their home, even on the toughest days. Joanne knows that no matter how tired she is, the love she has for her daughter will always be her driving force. It's this love that keeps her going, day after day, no matter how exhausted she feels. Joanne set a firm rule with Ashley. When I get home from work, you need to be ready to go. No excuses. This rule wasn't just about driving lessons. It was about teaching responsibility and the importance of being prepared. Joanne knew that life skills like these would be crucial for Ashley's future. If you're not ready, we're not practicing driving. This was a non-negotiable rule. Joanne wanted Ashley to understand that being on time was a form of respect, not just for others but for herself as well. It was a lesson in accountability. This wasn't Joanne being mean. She loved Ashley deeply and wanted the best for her. Joanne knew that the world wouldn't always be accommodating, and she wanted Ashley to be prepared for that reality. This was about respect and time management. Joanne was exhausted. Her job was demanding, and by the time she got home, she was running on fumes. She needed Ashley to understand that her time was valuable too. Getting back up after sitting down was physically painful for her. Joanne had been dealing with chronic back pain for years, and every movement was a struggle. She didn't want to waste any precious moments. She didn't have the energy for drawn-out arguments or waiting around. Joanne needed Ashley to be ready so they could make the most of their limited time together. Every minute counted. Ashley, like many teens with autism, struggled with time management. The concept of time was abstract and often confusing for her. Joanne knew this and tried to be patient, but it was a constant challenge. The concept of time wasn't always linear or logical for her. Ashley often found herself lost in tasks, unaware of how much time had passed. This made sticking to a schedule incredibly difficult. Joanne tried everything: visual timers, phone alarms, lists. She even tried setting multiple reminders throughout the day. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It was a constant battle to find what would help Ashley the most. Phone alarms, lists. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Joanne never gave up, though. She knew that with persistence and love, they would find a way to make it work. It was all about finding the right tools and strategies to help Ashley succeed. One evening after a particularly grueling workday, Joanne texted Ashley, "Be ready to go in 45 minutes. Don't make me wait." Joanne had been looking forward to this evening for weeks. It was supposed to be a rare night out, a chance to unwind and forget about the stress of work and daily responsibilities. She had meticulously planned every detail, from the restaurant reservation to the movie tickets. All she needed was for Ashley to be ready on time. Ashley read the text, but then decided to hop on the treadmill. She had been feeling sluggish all day, and thought a quick run would energize her. She told herself it would only take a few minutes, just enough to get her blood pumping. She put on her favorite playlist and started running, losing herself in the rhythm of the music and the steady thump of her feet on the treadmill. Time slipped away from her. The minutes ticked by unnoticed as she increased her speed, pushing herself harder. She felt a sense of accomplishment with each passing second, completely unaware of how much time had actually passed. The treadmill's timer showed the minutes flying by, but Ashley was too engrossed in her workout to notice. By the time Joanne got home, Ashley was in the shower. Joanne was livid. She had rushed through traffic, eager to get home and start their evening, only to find that Ashley was nowhere near ready. The steam from the bathroom filled the hallway, a clear sign that Ashley had just started her shower. Joanne's frustration grew with each passing second as she realized they were going to be late. She sat down on the couch, fuming. Joanne's mind raced with thoughts of the evening slipping away. She had been looking forward to this night for so long, and now it seemed like it was all going to be ruined. She could feel her anger boiling over, a mix of disappointment and frustration that she couldn't contain. She tried to calm herself, but the more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Ashley came out, hair wet, towel wrapped around her, and saw her mother's expression. She immediately knew she was in trouble. The look on Joanne's face was one of pure anger and disappointment. Ashley felt a pang of guilt, realizing that she had lost track of time and let her mother down. She opened her mouth to apologize, but before she could say anything, Joanne's voice cut through the silence. "Get dressed. We're going now," Joanne snapped. Her voice was sharp and commanding, leaving no room for argument. Ashley hesitated for a moment, still dripping wet and wrapped in her towel. But the urgency in her mother's voice propelled her into action. She rushed to her room, frantically searching for something to wear, her mind racing with thoughts of how to make it up to her mother. Ashley argued that she needed to dry her hair, that it wouldn't take long. Joanne refused to budge. She was beyond reasoning at this point, her patience completely worn thin. "You had plenty of time," she retorted, her voice filled with frustration. "We need to leave now, or we'll miss our reservation." Ashley tried to explain, but Joanne cut her off, her mind set on getting out the door as quickly as possible. "You knew the rules," she said, her voice tight with exhaustion. Joanne's eyes were heavy with fatigue, the weight of the day pressing down on her. She had made it clear to Ashley that being on time was important, and now she felt like her efforts were being disregarded. "This was supposed to be our night," she continued, her voice softening slightly. "I just wanted everything to go smoothly." Ashley nodded, understanding the disappointment in her mother's eyes, and quickly got dressed, hoping to salvage what was left of the evening. This is where things get complicated. Was Joanne being unreasonable? Was Ashley using her autism as an excuse? The answer, as with most things in life, is nuanced. To understand this situation, we need to walk in both of their shoes. We need to listen to both sides without judgment. From Joanne's perspective, she was at her wit's end. Imagine working a job that leaves you physically and emotionally spent, only to come home to more stress. Joanne wasn't trying to be cruel. She was trying to teach Ashley a vital life lesson, respecting other people's time. Joanne knew Ashley's autism made things challenging, but she also knew that enabling her daughter wouldn't help either of them in the long run. Sometimes, tough love meant sticking to your guns, even when it was hard. Section 6. Her Truth, a Teenager's Perspective. Now let's look at it from Ashley's point of view. Imagine having a brain that doesn't always process time the same way as everyone else. Imagine the frustration of knowing you're trying your best, but still falling short. Ashley wasn't trying to be disrespectful. She wasn't trying to make her mother angry. She was just trying to navigate a world that didn't always make sense to her. Section 7. This isn't an isolated incident. Sadly, these kinds of situations happen in families all the time. It's the classic struggle between parents trying to instill discipline and children craving understanding. We've heard from parents who feel like their kids are constantly testing boundaries. And we've heard from kids who feel like their parents just don't get them. Section 8. Finding the balance, discipline versus understanding. The key here is finding the balance. How do we teach our children responsibility without crushing their spirits? How do we offer understanding without coming across as permissive? It takes open communication, a willingness to compromise, and a whole lot of patience. It's about recognizing that everyone is doing their best with the tools they have. Section 9. What do you think? So, what's the verdict? Was Joanne right to stand her ground? Or should she have shown Ashley more grace? Share your thoughts in the comments below.